Tomb Raider Legend is the first reboot of the original Tomb Raider franchise, and the first entry of the Legend trilogy. The game starts with a flashback, in which we witness a plane crash involving Lara and her mother, as the two were flying to the Himalayas.
Close your eyes, darling. I don't want to close my eyes.
We're going full nose down!
Was that pilot Randy Marsh?
Kicking rudder, losing altitude! We're going full nose down!
Fast forward a couple years, we see the grown-up Lara hiking in Bolivia, trying to find the stone dais in the ruins of Tiwanaku. As for why, well, her true intentions are only revealed after the tutorial. What a twist. Her main support is provided by Alistair and Zip through a headset. These two lads are comic relief characters who occasionally provide some useful info. They reside in the Croft Manor, along with Winston, the butler, who only has like 3 lines in the entire game. Back to Bolivia. It turns out we are not the only ones interested in the dais. A team of mercenaries has already found it. This event triggers a flashback, and we learn more about Lara's whereabouts. After the plane crash in the Himalayas, Lara and her mother, Amelia, discovered a stone dais identical to the recent one in Bolivia. The dais was holding a sword, and by accidentally touching it, Lara opened up a portal, which caused her mother to mysteriously disappear with the sword, leaving Lara behind with a fair dose of PTSD for the rest of her life.
Mother! Mother!
She has been looking for her mother ever since, and now she's one step closer to find out what happened really. The mercenaries are led by this wannabe Johnny Cage, James Rutland. Before bailing, he shows off their findings, a fragment of the ancient sword, which is essential to open up the portal. After a short investigation, Lara comes to the conclusion that she needs to obtain all the fragments to reassemble the sword. So we head straight after Rutland to Peru, where we meet up with Lara's old friend, Anaya. The two reach an old excavation site in the small village called Paraíso, and we relive another traumatic event from the past. Lara was taking part in an archaeological excavation years ago, when a mysterious entity killed all her friends, except Amanda. By removing a stone from the wall, Amanda made the creature disappear. However, this move was way too OP, causing the cave to collapse, burying Amanda's leg, then her entire body. Lara, unable to help, left her behind, and the flashback ends. If only Chris had been there to punch those boulders. Revisiting the chamber Amanda died in, Lara finds an unlaced shoe, indicating that she might be alive and kicking. Venturing deeper, Lara discovers the tomb and the legend of the Queen of Tiwanaku. Long story short, it's a low-effort version of the legend of King Arthur. We learn that multiple dioceses exist. Then Lara finds the Queen's transparent glowing high-tech coffin, which is pretty neat if you ask me. What's even better is that Lara finds a replica of the sword too, only to realize she has seen the tip of the sword before at a university in Japan. Unfortunately, that piece was stolen by the Yakuza boss, Shogo Takamoto, so Lara arranges a meeting with him at a corporate party in Tokyo. Surprisingly, the party is hosted by Lara's friend, Toru Nishimura. After witnessing Nishimura's interesting head-to-body ratio, Takamoto arrives and he refuses to negotiate. He simply wants Lara dead because of some events of the past.
Ms. Croft, are you deaf?
I don't know. Let's see. Try begging for your life like you did the last time we spoke.
Using Lara's matrix moves, we finish off Takamoto's man and follow him to his penthouse, where he drops a bit more info. According to Takamoto, the fragment in his possession belonged to one of King Arthur's knights. Then he shows his true powers in a spontaneous boss fight. By eliminating him, Lara obtains the tip of the sword, and she goes after Rutland to Ghana for the next fragment.
Wanna go to Ghana?
Absolutely. Africa is among my favorite continents.
While we are trying to track Rutland down, Lara finds a pendant, which used to be her mother's. confirming that her father had been here in the past. Finding Rutland, it's also confirmed that Amanda is not only alive and well, but she is working with Rutland to put the sword back together. They believe Lara's father found the Golali key, which is used to separate and reattach the fragments. We defeat Rutland to obtain the second sword fragment. He reveals that Amanda is at the Croft Manor, looking for the key.
She's at your mansion right now. You better have good insurance.
But since she couldn't find it, she's going for another piece of the sword in Kazakhstan. As we are trying to track down Amanda, Lara finds a medieval shield that resembles Lancelot's crest with a map on the back. She takes a good look on the shield, so Alistair and Zip can crack where it leads to. In the meantime, we meet Amanda face to face in an old lab, where Soviets used to experiment on the sword fragment. The project was called Carbonac. Since it was a failure, they shut it down, but Amanda is trying to reboot the project 50 years later. Feeling betrayed about the past, she reveals she still has the stone she grabbed at the excavation. Since that event, Amanda has learned how to tame the entity, and now she releases it on Lara for a quick fight.
A little friendlier than it was in Paraíso, isn't it?
By stunning the entity with this weird machinery, Lara is able to obtain the third sword fragment and jump in the ventilation system to escape. As Lara slowly makes her way outside the facility, her team deciphers the map and it takes her back home to Cornwall.
As in, take the M5 to the A30, Paul?
As the crow drives.
Well then, let's see who can get there first.
The destination is a rundown King Arthur Museum. With the help of a mighty forklift, we find a series of catacombs underneath the attraction, with no other resting inside than motherfucking King Arthur. Yes, it turns out the entire court of Camelot was real. And the reason we saw stories of multiple dioceses is because Arthur and his knights brought the fragments of the sword all over the globe, shaping the human civilization by a great extent. To obtain the last fragment, Lara loots King Arthur like a madman. Wow, we are really putting the Excalibur back together. But before she could return to the mansion, she must fight a giant sea serpent that was supposed to protect the fragment. Once at home, the team is trying to figure out how to reassemble the Excalibur until Lara solves the mystery. The Golali key is the pendant her father gifted her mother decades ago. Too bad its last known position was somewhere in the Himalayas, where the plane crashed. Lara visits Nepal to track down the plane's wreckage. She finds the key, then she returns to the temple, where her mother disappeared. Once inside, she reforges the Excalibur and uses its powers to escape before the temple collapses. With the sword assembled, Lara travels back to the Stone Dryers in Bolivia. Amanda, Rutland and their mercenaries are already waiting there for the final showdown.
Anyone between me and that stone dies.
Stop! I don't want anything bad to happen, but it will if you come any closer.
We kill most of them, including Rutland, who dies in Amanda's arms.
Amanda. See.
What a waste. He could have been a perfect fanboy. Using the stone, Amanda merges with the entity. Thus the final boss fight begins. And it ends just like that. The Excalibur is just way too OP. Lara collects the stone from the passed out Amanda. Then she opens up the portal once more, this time intentionally. Now comes the plot twist. The portal is somehow able to spend time, making connection between Lara and her mother right before her disappearance.
Don't touch the sword! Take out the sword! What? Oh God!
Unfortunately, Amelia didn't listen to her future daughter. Instead, she followed the recently awakened Amanda's instructions Too bad Amanda's warning were meant for Lara, not Amelia, causing Amelia to pull out the sword, which led to her disappearance in the past. The dais explodes, then realizing it was Amanda who supposedly killed her mother. Lara gets a bit angry.
Where is my mother?
Avalon! It's not a myth. Don't you get it?
Amanda claims Amelia is not dead. Instead, she was transported to the mythical island of Avalon. Great. Lara knocks out Amanda, realizes her father was right to believe Amelia was still alive. Then she moves on to find her mother in Avalon.
For years, my father believed Mother was alive. It was what kept him going. Zip, call Professor Eddington at the Cavendish Laboratory. Arrange a meeting.
Will do. What should I tell him?
Tell him my father was right about everything. And there may still be time to do something about it.